Welcome to Buy, Hold, Sell. I'm Jeremy Hook from TMS Capital. Joining me today is Michelle Lopez from Aberdeen and Shane Fitzgerald from Monash. And what we're going to talk about today is, with the slowing domestic economy, the move of investors offshore to find growth. It's been happening for some time. Let's look at a few stocks and see how their prospects are. If we start with Michelle, A2 Milk. It's had a great run. What do you think of that now? Buy, hold, sell.
It's a hold for us. It is a decent quality company in the sense of the product, the management, the board, the balance sheet, and they've had very good, consistent execution in China. They're looking now to the US with their milk. However, the valuation is reflecting all of this. So on a PE of almost 30 times on FY20, there's not much room for error here.
Big move up, Shane. A2 Milk, buy, hold, sell.
Yeah, look, we'll put a buy on that one. We echoed the same thing about the quality of the company, and they've really done. I see A2 Milk as a marketing company. They really prosecuted the AT protein very, very well. Their market share is still accelerating, going very nicely in China. They're up to 10,000 stores, I think, in the US. If they can sustain this sort of runway of growth, I think there's consensus earnings upgrades to come. So yes, the P is quite high at the moment, but I think there's still good runway for this business.
Okay, Altium, an outstanding report. They're now eyeing off $500 million of revenue by 2025. Buy, hold, sell.
It's a buy for us as well. Altium's a 10-plus year overnight success story. They have really established themselves very strongly in the the printed circuit board. I always get that wrong. Marketplace. They command something like 80% market share of new licenses going into that market. So they are becoming the dominant player there. The company's very strong in its outlook. The real upside in this company, however, comes if they can bring themselves into the heart of the electronics industry and bring together the design, the manufacturer, and the parts.
Collaborate.
Through the Altium 365 product. That's going to be the real thing that's going to drive the company forward.
Excellent. Now, Michelle, it's gone up 60% in a year. Is Altium, notwithstanding all that Shane likes about it, is it a buy, hold, or sell?
I'm with Shane on this one. It's a buy. The migration to the cloud with their new product, they are actually first to market. And we're starting to see early gains winning off the competitor there. And a really important thing to understand about Altium is that it is a differentiated product, but it's embedded in the user workflow. They have developed all their IP and technology organically, and they conservatively expense all their R&D as well. So from a fundamental point of view, it's a very strong company. And then overlay that with the thematic. So there's a very clear tailwind for them. So we've got 5G coming in soon, and then you've got the Internet of Things. So clearly there's a strong tailwind.
Okay, company now I'm going to move to, with a bit of a checkered sort of reputation now, corporate travel. What do you think of that? Buy, hold, sell?
That's a sell for us, and the reason being there's clearly disclosure issues with the company. So from a governance perspective, we don't own it. However, there's a very interesting way to play this game, and there's a New Zealand small cap company called Serco.
Okay.
And Serco actually own the IP and the tech that sits behind these corporate managed travel booking systems, and it's not just them, it's the likes of Flight Centre and ATPI. They have about 70% of the market in ANZ, but the opportunity is actually in the US. So they've landed their first US contract.
Without the concerns you've got with corporate travel. Are you sharing the concerns, Shane?
Well, we're shareholders of Serco as well, actually, so I'd echo those comments. We're a hold on corporate travel. Look, I think when looking at the short seller attack on it, it was all about cash flow. I think the company's done a pretty decent fist of explaining why that cash flow works the way it does. But we have to wait for the full year result to get final confirmation. But for us, our issue with the company is more about the organic growth in the business. It's not clear to us exactly where the organic growth has come from and where it's likely to come from here. So we want more information about that.
Well, taking that one up to Blackmores, our next one, I mean, growth is an issue there. It hit a bit of a brick wall in the February report. How do you see that now? Buy, hold, sell?
We're going to say a sell on that one. It's come back a long way, but I still think the earnings growth rate is still rebasing. They're spending more money on advertising and marketing, and it's just not getting traction at the moment. Very competitive market. As a general rule, we don't like it when we see CEOs suddenly move on, right? So, enough warning signs there for us to stay away.
Michelle, Marcus Blackmore in charge on an acting basis. Blackmore's buy, hold, sell.
It's a hold for us. We have the same concerns, and when there's a vacuum in management, that's a key signal. They haven't executed, and it's the reverse, I think, of A2 milk in the sense of the quality has deteriorated. They haven't executed consistently in China. However, their other Asian businesses continue to do well. Australia continues to do well, and the valuation is supportive. So for us, we're not there yet to move it to a buy, so it's a hold.
Hold for Blackmores. Credit Corp. It's done very well. Its US growth is obviously there. Is it well priced? Buy, hold, sell?
It's a hold. It's not one that we currently own, and the most recent capital raising that they did to launch the growth into the US could well prove to be a very strategic one to do, given the domestic market for us and why we don't own it. It's very mature, they're not growing, it's very competitive, whereas in the US, post the GFC, the three major sellers over there have moved out of the market. So from a competitive dynamic, it looks to be an interesting acquisition, but we'll watch this one from the sidelines.
Okay, well, thanks for that. What about yourself, Shane? I mean, you've just done a placement, haven't they? Buy, hold, sell?
Look, it's a very volatile stock. It's a hold for us. It's had a great run of late. And look, the thing about this company, it all comes down to what's happening in the debt purchase market. And funnily enough, that market tends to be either very good or very bad. It never seems to be middle ground any time. And it always surprises me how quickly it can swing from one to the other. So, at the moment it's looking pretty good for it, but I've seen this turn down too many times in the past, so I'm going to say hold.
Okay. Well, there's some great ideas from our panel. Don't be afraid to travel offshore with your investments.